I'm Nady Hachem. I'm taking Geology 205 with Dr. Hamad Janjouha this semester, and for now, my second video, I'll be talking about fossil fuels. And more into details, I'll be talking about one type of fossil fuel, which is crude oil, petroleum crude oil, which is used in different industries and has different usage. So, let's talk first about fossil fuels. So, what are fossil fuels? Fossil fuels come from remains of once living biological organic matter that have known some transformations of the years. So, this organic matter wasn't decomposed by the living microorganisms in the seabed. So, sediments start to pile up more and more over this organic matter, and due to increase in burial depth, in temperature, and in pressure, this organic matter knows chemical and physical transformation. So first, this organic matter is going to be transformed into what we call kerogen or bitumen, which are two forms of solid hydrocarbon, and then from these we're gonna have the over decomposition of these two matters are gonna create our fossil fuels, the oil, coal, and natural gas. So let's dive more into our crude oil, our main topic today. So as we said, kerogen and bitumen are solid form of hydrocarbons that are really dense in the quantity of hydrocarbons that they contain. So at a specific temperature, around 90 degrees, these components will form what we call crude oil. Okay, of course, after burial and pressure, etc. So we're not gonna go into details of the formation of this process. So now we have our crude oil. So our crude oil is gonna have two, we say, endings. Part of it is gonna continue decomposition and go into dry and wet gases, and the other part is gonna migrate into underground reservoir and gonna create our crude oil underground reservoir. So that's what we're interested in. So when we wanna actually extract this oil, after extraction, this crude oil, is gonna be sent into a refinery. What happens there? So actually, this crude oil is heated and evaporated, and as we said, it's really dense. It contains a lot of hydrocarbons. So these now gasified hydrocarbons are gonna migrate into what we call a distillation column, which actually helps us separate the different types of hydrocarbons based on density. So the lighter gases are gonna go at the top of the column, and the heavier gases are gonna go at the bottom, as we see here in the picture. We can see here at the top of the column, we get liquefied petroleum gas, which is used in lighters and in bottled gases that we use at home to cook food. We have then at around 40 degrees to 200 degrees, we have gasoline that's produced to fuel cars. Then at around 60 degrees, we have naphtha that's produced. It's used in plastic production, textiles, and drugs. Then we have at around 175 degrees to 250, 300 degrees, we have kerosene that's used to fuel planes. Then heavier, we have the diesel that's from around 250 degrees to 300, 350 degrees. We have the diesel that's used in the most cars and in big vehicles. Then at a higher temperature, with heavier, which represent heavier hydrocarbons, we have lubricating oil and oil used in heating. And then at the end, the hydrocarbons form at very high temperature, around 350 to from 350 to 600 degrees. We have the very heavy hydrocarbons, fuel oil and bitumen, used in ships and in construction, such as construction of roads and roofing. So as a conclusion, we have seen that oil is actually produced. If you go back, we have the organic matter that through burial under have different piles of sediments, have known chemical and physical transformations due to temperature, pressure, etc. And organic matter was transformed to kerogen and bitumen, and then the first stage of transformation was to be transformed to oil. Oil, the crude oil, which is the liquid oil who was stocked in a reservoir and then extracted, and to get the different types that we talked about, whether it is liquid petroleum gas, gasoline, diesel, heavy hydrocarbons, etc., that were used in many industries such as textile, heating, construction, drugs, cosmetics, etc. So actually, we see this source of fossil fuel in many aspects of our everyday life. Thank you.